I'll tell you what's really emerged: entitlement. My circumstances put me in a place where I just don't think anybody owes me anything. Not society, not the government, not people I do nice things for. That's a killer. People struggle so much when they do something nice for somebody, they think that person owes them something. I'm desperately trying to give more value to every person I ever cross paths with and never ask for anything in return. That is literally the framework of my life. My great hope is that I can bring more value to people than they bring to me, and I'm never in a dire situation where I ever have to ask for anything in return. Being an entrepreneur is the win. And I believe we're living through a great era right now where people are looking for the money and the things you can buy with the money from entrepreneurship. And that is why I believe that in the next decade, there will be an enormous conversation of people being unhappy entrepreneurs during this generation, because it is so in the air in your Instagram stream, success and the perception of success. And I've really started to articulate something that feels really true to me, which is, how do I start making happiness the true North Star, not money? I'm really, really, really passionate about accountability. We need to put it in the right place. We don't need to look the other way where there's systematic issues. There are. But we have to put accountability on a pedestal. Yeah. Back to lack of entitlement. Accountability, much of a kissing cousin of lack of entitlement, is such a driver for me. Every time something happens bad, I'm like, that's my fault. And that makes me happy, not sad. It makes me feel empowered. I believe that is absolutely true, and I believe that we struggle when new things happen in our society to fully wrap our heads around them. The internet is the biggest impact on humans. We are all super lucky. Like, if you think about how long humans have actually been around, like the airplane seems pretty intense. Like, there's a ton of shit that has happened, right? Electricity, but like, it's on that level. We are living through the beginning of the platform that arguably is one of the 1 to 5 biggest inventions and impacts on humans ever. And so that's intense. It just is. Like, in some ways, certain generations had world wars and other things. Ours is this incredible acceleration of technology. We are in a very special time. And right now, we have gone into chapter 2. Chapter 1 in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, about all the maturity of the internet, was nirvana, right? It was all good. Look at all these people doing well. Super cool, super nice. The cliche thing that always happens is what's happening right now. Now we're demonizing it. America and humans love to build shit up and then tear it down. We loved building Zucks up. Now we're loving, demonizing him, and then we're gonna love for him to come back. Like, this is what we do. I just really, really, really want people to stop blaming Instagram. There is no Instagram, there's you. You don't like it? Don't consume it. It's free. Right now, we're in a very convenient state, and everybody's throwing around judgment and blame like it's free. And I feel a huge sense of responsibility to articulate accountability, lack of entitlement, and positivity, because I believe in it. There's a very interesting thing going on here right now, which is there's an extraordinary amount of people that are content or happy, they just don't communicate. Negativity by nature is louder, has always been. Your grandmother who's miserable was louder than your grandfather who's content. The problem is now words are being documented at scale. This has always been the way. There's nothing different right now. It's just that we can't look at our grandmother's tweets. My grandmother was one of the most super negative people I've ever come across in my life. In my life. Just unbelievably negative. Everything was negative. Every good thing that happened was a conspiracy theory. And I used to be mad at her, and then I had to remind myself as I got older and more thoughtful, I'm like, this is a woman who lived in the Soviet Union, who went through World War II, who saw some shit, and who lost her husband. You become more empathetic as you become more thoughtful, but I think we need to get into some real conversations, and right now the conversations are lazy. You'll always be disappointed if you think some big force is gonna save you. You'll always be disappointed. So just solve it for yourself. I'm obsessed with perspective. I genuinely believe you find what you're looking for. If you are looking for bad right now, it's a piece of cake. If you're looking for good right now, it's a piece of cake. I'm just asking you, what the fuck are you looking for? One thing I don't do well is talk about my problems, which manifests in many ways. It manifests in being taken for granted in my real life and in my collective life, my outward life. And I got fucking problems. I got lots of problems. Real ones. I grew up with lots of this stuff. Like lots and lots and lots of stuff. I just am not capable of going into it. I don't get going. Like, I can't get there. And so one of the things that I try to remind kids, I'm like, take me out of the equation. If you know of one person that has ever gotten to a happy place that dealt with your circumstance, there is a blueprint. The end. I would much rather, in a world of the internet, where the internet doesn't care who you are, come from too little than come from too much. But I believe that we're living in a very funny time where clout, reputation, work ethic, a lot of different things are starting to be put on pedestals, not just money and earning your keep and who you are and what you're giving to the world. And what actually happens when you can calibrate judgment? I believe one of the biggest reasons that I'm one of the forefront faces of all this is because I can handle the judgment. You know how much hate I have? I'm getting destroyed. That hurts. And most people are folding their chairs when they get judged like that. I'm not, because I know every one of those people who said that have never met me. There's a lot of you out there that are happy, that are successful, and one of the things that's happening is you're putting out stuff and you're being crippled a little bit by the comments and you get angry. And we've created this term trolls. I don't look at it as trolls, I really don't. A lot of my friends back in the day were like, why do you feed trolls? I'm like, because I respect other people's points of view and I want to learn from conversation. Like, everybody now is just like trolls, 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 and any negative thing you get, people dismiss as hate. I fucking read that shit. I need to calibrate it. It definitely doesn't bring me down. I want to understand it. It allows me to adjust, and I have to adjust. We all have to adjust. I just think there's a lot of things going on in the system, but I really want to get people's minds more quiet, because it is just one big game of, are you valuing other people's opinions or are you valuing your own process? I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. I am starting to see young alpha dudes start to throw around words like gratitude and empathy and kindness, and it's really starting to really make me feel good. And it's like really fucking with me. I think we have an entire generation of people that are trying to be successful, and I have enormous ambition to redefine it. I just really want people to be happy. It's so much more fun to be happy. It's so fun to be happy. The great blessing of my life is that I don't judge myself. I hold myself accountable. Like, it doesn't mean you go and be reckless. I'm not delusional when I fuck up and I suck. It's just that I just don't overjudge it. Yeah. Everyone's tearing themselves down. What the fuck are you doing that for? Everybody else is doing it for you. Stop beating yourself up. I feel people are unbelievably good at trapping themselves in unhappiness because of things they buy based on a lot of things we just talked about. I believe that everybody thinks things are super fucked up, and I think this is the beginning of an incredible century of human behavior. This level of lack of privacy, I believe that everybody's about to figure out that there's nowhere to hide, which is gonna lead for everybody being more transparent, which is gonna lead to people realizing they can't hide, which is gonna eliminate so much of the hypocrisy. I understand people, right? And the reason I'm happy is I'm so grateful as somebody who's really good at it that I didn't manipulate it for bad, I'm trying to manipulate it for good. If you're in a good place, we have to start sharing more of it. Everybody's spitting hate, and everyone's accepting that. Then you have people that are spitting positivity, and people are shitting on those people. We have to make positivity louder, but positivity has to be grounded in practicality. The reason I think my voice can be unique at times is because positivity often becomes delusional. Why is everything that's happening in your life the definitive end score? It's a process. There's a lot of people right now really struggling with their transition because they have a negative mother or father. And it's a force in their life that is really fucking them up. And I don't think you need to cut out dad, but maybe you don't have to answer every one of his calls where you know the call is gonna be negative.
What is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
That I gave more than I took. It's very clear to me. I'm very passionate about this. We need more people with ambitions